Welcome again to the Skeleton Key with Niko. Professionality creeping in, right? It's got a name. Anyway, with the Jungian archetypes and the typology, you can sort of begin obviously with the hero, parent, child, anima, and animus in the conscious. And moving into the unconscious, you have the nemesis, the critic, the trickster, and the demon. And I've called the hero the hubris because the hero is actually one of the greater sources of difficulty for a personality. And really that's just because of the hubris. It's because of the vanity. It's because of the way that it can act in dishonorable ways and sort of perceive itself to be invulnerable, to be able to do whatever it wants, always be correct and never face consequences. There's a real hubris to the hero. And so for shorthand, I just call it the hubris function. And the anima and the animus, I came to just call the nevma, literally referring to lungs, but I think that gives it a stronger spiritual, symbolic element. It's all about breathing through the different iterations. And the nemesis I've kept from Jung's original, because the nemesis can also become the ally. Within the shadow, it's not always supposed to be negative. Your best friend can be your worst enemy, right? So the nemesis contains within it this idea of showing and revealing the hubris to the hero, but not necessarily being perpetually some type of enemy, but perhaps a potential to equal and match the hero. But I'm here to talk about the ENFP and put it into the skeleton key. First and foremost, we got to understand any extroverted intuition. It's about novelty. If you're holding a ball, in that moment just before you throw it, there's a sort of ghost of 1,000 alternate trajectories that you could have taken. And then when that ball is thrown, that one path that it does take, that's introverted intuition. SI is the path that's taken in the past. I'll get to that. So we have NE in the hubris, in the hero, overestimating its powers and becoming disconnected from reality by making everything abstract. That's where the anima, that contrasexual function of introverted sensing becomes really important to inspire the hubris and bring it down a notch. You know, once the ball has landed, that trajectory that it took to the SI inferior to the SI in this nevma slot, there isn't enough memory. There aren't precedents to draw upon, and the hubris just goes on and on in the abstract about these possibilities, never once thinking in its arrogance to consult with what's already happened. They temper each other. An overinvestment of alternate realities, the real counterbalance of that, or you could even say flow-on effect of that, is the hubris will starve the soul of this person until the demon steps in to ruin their life to save the soul. The demon is the only one that would feed the anima. We're allowing the past to be expanded upon again. And so long as that breathing action is continuing, the personality, or rather the self, is growing, because the self is the product of the meeting between the ego and the contrasexual archetype, what I've been calling the hubris and the nevma. When they connect and they have the divine child, as it's sometimes called, that is the creation of the self. Beyond ego, the self, that's you at your best. You at the level of the gifts that you have for humanity. That doesn't mean that staying in nevma is a good thing, right? You can stay there too long. We know this. Say you're in the nevma for too long, that starts to degenerate into the nemesis. And that fixation on past experiences guiding me now, and sort of getting really strict about how that will become your future. Even a fault on another half of the skeleton key has flow-on effects everywhere else. If we're in the nemesis and we're looking to create a path forward, I thought I was going to do an internship through university. Okay, well, I couldn't do it at the company I wanted. And then when I found another place I wanted to do it, I wanted to do a research project. And uni said, oh no, you'll need ethics approval. That'll take basically the whole semester and you'll be done with the subject. And I said, do you want me to make moonshine? Is that what you said? I'm thinking, here I am trying to actually do something, and bureaucracy is really going to ruin this. And you really think that I'm just going to give up on this thing I'm so excited about just because of your bureaucracy? If I was fixated on that path that I'd chosen and the right set of actions to take, how would I have been able to manage the fact that I couldn't do it at the company that I thought I would? And even when I wasn't there, I couldn't do the research I wanted to with the university. As it comes to pass, I drop the subject and I do the research privately. The ENFP begins in their hubris and needs to be able to accept the humility of possibilities, that the future may be infinite and expansive, that connections and symbolisms may be rampant and always possible, but maybe the way it already was traditionally, or maybe the memories and the scripts that already guide us on a cultural level, on a biographic level, maybe there's already something there for us and we don't need something new. And if they can just temper each other, that's the breathing action. As long as there's that breathing action and they're tempering each other, possibilities and precedents, the self is being created and there's a real positive forging happening for the personality. Once that degenerates in any way and the fixation instead becomes on knowing what we want going forward and taking exactly the right action for it, that degenerates everything. That's suffocating for this type of personality, and that creates a persona as opposed to the self, a mask as opposed to the gift. Is there anything else? I don't think I need to say anything else. Well, thank you very much for listening, and it's been a pleasure to talk about the ENFP through the skeleton key format, and I want to keep returning to the different personality types, and ciao.